Welcome, 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 loungers. Welcome back. You are with your host, DJ Mary B. This is another episode of City Lounge After Dark. Before we get into it, I want to give a nice shout out to my co-host, DJ Superstar, for holding it down on last episode with Gloomy, aka Liptimus Prime. Shout out to my boy Sean for coming and just dropping gems. We appreciate you, Sean. Thank you so much. Before we get into it with my next guest, I have to give a shout out to Drippy Supply. What I'm wearing right now, it is from the Mandem D-Boys. That's Cliff, Ben, Jesse, Kevin. Shout out to you guys for this dope tracksuit that I'm wearing. You guys support Black businesses. You will be able to find them at Drippy Supply. I will leave the link for that below. And also, I want to give a shout out to our sponsor today, which is Delicious. Guys, when I tell you she makes these drinks with love, she makes it with love. She puts her foot, her back, her neck, everything in it. Like, it is amazing. It tastes so good. I just wanted to say thank you so much for sponsoring us. These are her lovely bottles. I will leave the link to where you can get these down below. And so there it is. Those are the drinks by Delicious. And we're gonna get into it with our next guest. If this is your first time, welcome. If not, loungers, you already know what it is. So let's start. Welcome, welcome. Hey, loungers. You already know what it is. We're gonna get into it. Today's episode, we are talking, I brought my good friend here, Deidra J.
Hey.
Welcome, Deidra J. I want you to take this opportunity to tell our guests who you are and what is it that you do.
So, my name is Deidra J. What I do is a loaded question. I do so much. But my primary thing is helping people. I'm a life coach. I work with millennial women. I also do event decor, so you can check me out at _We Love to Party. I do all your balloon decor, custom gifts. Mm-hmm. That's me.
Yes, guys. So I don't know if you've checked my Instagram page. For my birthday party, you did my birthday party, my balloons, and for my son's Black Panther, you did the balloons as well. Very good job, and it's an honor to have you come here, girl.
Thank you. I'm so honored to be asked to come here.
Of course. Just for those who don't know, so I'm just gonna give a little breakdown of how we met.
Yeah.
So we've known each other maybe 3-4 years. No,
it'd been longer than that.
Longer, yeah.
Maybe 6, 7. Yeah.
Yes, because I knew you before my son was born.
Yeah.
And we did go on a little hiatus, and I thought the reason why I love what we talk about and what it is that we're going to discuss right now is because the hiatus that we went, the kind of break that we took when we did get back into each other's lives, you were doing your life coaching.
Yes, and you just started DJing.
Yes, and it was crazy that when we did talk and we did catch up, we went through so many similar things.
For sure. It was crazy.
It's crazy. It was relatable, and I wanted to share that with my audience because I want everybody to know that no matter what you go through, you can always come out on top. You can always rebrand yourself. You can, you can just do whatever it is that you want to do. But like we said on my last episode, you have to do the work.
For sure. And that's the hardest part, right?
Yeah. So before we, let's start it off. Let's just kick it off with, we ended it off with Sean, which was faith. Mm-hmm. And I want to start that off. Everybody knows how I feel about faith. I already said that on the last episode. So how did faith play into a big part of you becoming Deidra J?
To be honest, faith is everything, right? I've been in some deep, dark places that only God could take me out of. Mm-hmm. If it wasn't for faith and growing up in the church and having that to run back to, I wouldn't be here. Mm-hmm. And that growth, I wouldn't have been able to experience it. I've been in so many situations where it was what am I gonna do? Whether it was I was depressed, I didn't have money, I was just depleted of energy, and it's only by God's grace that got me through those things.
I can agree to that, and a lot of people that I know are watching can attest to that too as well. It's you find God in your darkest time.
Yes.
And I feel when you do find that faith, that spirituality, it ends up being your anchor.
For sure. And then I've been in some deep, dark places, and it's only the grace of God that allowed me to wake up the next morning. Or there's been times where I'm I don't even know how I'm gonna pay these bills. And like somebody will come through and be like, yo, remember that time you lent me money? I'm gonna give it back to you today. Or like, I found money or stuff like that. And it's just like, only God can do those things for you, right?
I'm a deep believer of nothing in life is a coincidence. I don't know about how other people live their life, but I purely or truly believe that nothing in life is coincidence. So even you just saying that, like there's even times just as you, like, I'm just like, yo, like, where am I gonna find money to do this? Or how am I gonna get myself out of this situation? Or like, yo, I really need, like, I need you to come through. And he just comes through. And when he does, you're just like, yo.
I see you, God. Yeah, for real, because nobody else could have came through for you.
Nobody else, you know what I mean? And I feel like with the foundation of faith, forgiveness plays a big part in it as well.
And forgiveness is so such a huge topic, and it's not about anybody else, it's about you, right? And a lot of times the people that we have to forgive is ourselves. Like for the ignorancy, not knowing better, or knowing better and still not doing better. And once you get to that realization of forgiveness is about you and how you can move forward, you learn to let go of things, and it's easier for you to forgive.
Let go and let God. And the power of forgiveness, what people need to understand is, and I don't remember if I said it in the last episode, but when you come to a place where you understand that the way you were operating was just based off of survival, and you can have grace with yourself, just, grace, and then forgive yourself. Like you said, it does make it easier to forgive others, because it's like, if I was doing that and I was not aware that I was doing that, then this person probably wasn't aware as well.
Exactly.
Not a lot of us grow at the same time because everybody's experiences are different. Some people go through things earlier in their life, some people go through things later on in their life. And that is why I feel like you have to have grace with other people. You have to come to a place of understanding. And it's funny because I would say forgiveness plays a big part in, I'm pretty sure, in you becoming Deidra and me, Mary B. Sure. You know what I mean? Like,
it's huge, because like a lot of the people that have hurt me, or like the things that I felt have wronged me, now as I'm growing, I'm able to look back and say, you know what, I forgive that person, because that's what they knew. They didn't know no better, or they're operating from survival, or not knowing any better, or not having nobody to show them anything else.
Yeah. It's true. And a lot of us, like I said, a lot of our upbringing it starts in the household.
For sure.
Right? And so when you come out of your house, or even like I said, come to a level of consciousness or awareness, you have to unlearn a lot of things.
And that's really hard. That's the hardest part, right?
Because this is who you are, right? If you're a woman, you see your mom, you're gonna emulate your mom.
For sure.
If you're a man and you see your dad, you're gonna emulate your dad. And you still have some men that emulate, characters of their mom, because that's who raised them.
And I mean, sometimes like it's not even that you emulate your mom or your dad. You know that you don't want to be them, or you emulate what's on the TV or what others around you have told you should be, right?
Yes. That plays into the part of being around certain people that want to keep you in a box.
For sure.
And having to reach to a level of where you have to forgive those people. You get what I'm saying? Like, for me, I felt like before I became Mary B, I sat with myself, and there's certain things that I knew that I had to do before I could really take off and be enter this next chapter of my life. And so what I did was, I always forgave people. I'm one of those people, like, I'm gonna forgive you, but I'm not gonna forget, number one. And two, I really don't feel like what you did to me is so severe that I gotta keep you in my heart, because people block their blessings just because of holding certain shit.
Yeah.
You have to let go and let God, you know what I mean?
And I mean, just because you forgive somebody doesn't mean that you have to mess with them. They don't have to be in your circle. You don't have to, like, I can forgive you and love you from over there.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like,
but some people don't understand that. They feel like, okay, I forgive you, so we have to no, you don't. No. And then they look at other people like, oh, well, no, like, they forgive them and they keep it moving.
Yeah.
Like, for me, I remember I reached out to certain people before I became Mary B. They know who they are. And I apologized to them, like, just for, I forgave them a long time ago, but I still wanted to apologize on maybe feeling the way that I felt, because I came to a place where like, yo, you know what you did to me, I understand that you were operating of a place that you didn't know any better, and I still got love for you. And you know, some people were like, oh, it's okay, Mary, like don't worry. And some people were like, nah, like I don't think it's genuine. You know what I'm saying? And that's okay. If that's how you feel, then that's how you feel. But for me, I did that for me, so that when I enter that next chapter of my life, like you said, forgiveness is not about other people, it's for yourself, right?
Yeah. And I mean, at the end of the day, you can't, if just because you forgive somebody doesn't mean they have to accept that,
Exactly.
Right? So it's also being okay within yourself to know that I made that effort and now I'm okay to close that chapter and move on.
And what also plays into forgiveness as well is, I always tell people, like, when you have grace with yourself, whatever you put out in the universe, you will get it back.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? Like, just keep your head high, you know, keep being the person that you know that you're meant to. Like, tap into yourself, work on yourself. You get what I'm saying?
For sure. And I mean, not everything that we do, like, it's not about other people, it's about us. Like, you have to forgive people to move forward within yourself and with your journey. And once you get to know yourself, it stops being about other people and more about yourself, right? And that validation or that needing for others, people to approve or accept your forgiveness, it's not as important anymore.
It's really not. It's really not. So, like, my advice for my viewers is, like, anybody that you are holding on to or any situation that you're holding on to, I would advise you to, like, just let it go. I promise you. Once you let it go, it's like a burden. Learn to move on without an apology that you're expecting from people.
Sure.
You don't need apologies from certain people. Some people, if they come back and they do, that's great. And if they don't, let
you
that,
have
because
to be okay with that apology that you're never gonna get.
You're never gonna get.
And as you were talking about forgiveness, something that came to mind is that I forgot, girl. Sorry.
It's okay.
Okay, we'll move on.
That's okay. I also remember seeing, like, a quote that.
Okay, I remember that.
Okay, go.
So you know what? A lot of things that people do to us, we take personally. And it's not meant to, like, necessarily tear us down. All those things are experiences that will build us up in the long run, right? So it's not, you need to learn to look at things from a different perspective. So this person may have wronged you, but now that's a learning experience that you're gonna take with you and know for next time not to put yourself in that situation, or understand yourself a little bit more based on what has happened in the past to you.
Exactly. Just, life is not about, I don't want anyone to ever feel like if certain things don't work out for you, it's an L. That L is not a loss, it's a lesson.
It's everything is a lesson.
Life is all about perspective, and it's, I love that you brought that up, because I always like to tell people around me, like, yo, perspective is everything. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you walk outside, you could be like, yo, the sun is out, it's hot as shit, like, I'm finna die. Or you could go outside and
oh, the sun is out, it's a beautiful day.
Like, perspective is
sure.
everything. And you can, it's just like what Sean said, going back to what he said, like, life is about choices, right? You make that choice, like, do you want to wake up and be happy, or do you want to wake up and be miserable? Exactly. You have the say in your life. You get what I'm saying?
For sure. And that's important. I mean, and that's a big part of, like, self-awareness and growth, right? So you may not be in the best situation, but you choose to see the positives, because it could always be worse, right? And the fact that you have life and you woke up this morning, that in itself is a blessing.
Yeah, it really is. And alongside with forgiveness and, you know, going to a level of consciousness and awareness, life is, let's keep it real. There's always ups to life, and then there's down to lives, you know? And I wanted to touch on depression as well, because we did touch on it last episode, but I want to hear your experience with depression. I want to kind of touch more a little bit on it, because we didn't stay on it. We more kind of came up with a solution, but like I said, this episode is to show people, like, how we got to where we got to. I know for me, like, depression came in a place where I was just really tired. I was burnt out. I felt complacent. Like, I felt like there has to be more than what I'm doing. You know what I mean?
And for me, depression came about, like, I had postpartum depression. Like, I had my son, my relationship fell apart. Like, it was not what I expected it to be, and motherhood was not what I expected to be. So I had, like, a newborn. I was depressed. I was dealing with all these things, and being that I come from a Caribbean background, it was like, you have a healthy child, you live somewhere, you're getting money from, you know, like you have a job, like, what are you depressed about? And it was like, go to church, drink some tea. Like, tea and church don't solve every problem. Like,
facts.
And I mean, like,
tea and church do not solve every problem, guys.
And I mean, like, if I had that, like, loving support in the way of like, okay, what's wrong? Like, why do you feel that way? Or, you know, like, do you want to go see a counselor? Do you need a coach? I didn't get that. It was just like, oh, this girl again with her depression and our foolishness. Like, and it was just like, you're lazy. Like, you have a child, get out your bed and do this and do that. And it was literally like, I got up to take care of my child and went back to my bed. And I didn't really have anybody to talk to about that because nobody around me could really relate.
Yeah.
So I had to suffer with that in silence. And I was blessed to have a like good baby that, you know, didn't cry and like, you know, was thriving. But I mean, if my child had colic, or God only knows what would have happened to that baby or me, right? And so we need to normalize these conversations in our culture, because I know I'm not the only one that suffered from postpartum depression.
I was just gonna say that too. Like, I'm pretty sure everything that you're saying, there's somebody out there that's just like, damn, like, I went through the same thing. I know how you feel. And that's why we have these kind of conversations, because we want people to know that, like, you know, we went through it, but we came out of it.
Yeah.
And I could relate to you when you were saying, like, all you did was, like, do what you needed to do for your baby, and then you went back to bed. Because the same thing happened with me. Like, I'm so grateful for my child. He was the only person that could get me out of bed at the time of my depression. Like, oh, I gotta bathe you, I gotta feed you, I gotta do what I need to do, and it was back to bed. Like, you know what I'm saying? I was just so burnt out. I was burnt out, and I did not have anybody to really talk to. I mean, I had my sister, I had my aunt, but in a time like that, like you said, like, certain people just can't relate. They can only be there for you only for so long. You know what I mean? And I think that's why we connected when we talked, and we were just like, yo, you went through that? Like, girl, I went through that too.
And it was so hard, because like, I never saw, there was no light at the end of the tunnel for me. Like, it was just like, I have to do this because I have to as a mom, but I didn't want to do it. And I wasn't there. Like, mentally, I was just like, okay, in a survival mode. Like, okay, I gotta bathe my child, I gotta feed him, I gotta, you know, like, I gotta make sure that he's nurtured. But other than that, I had really no desire to do anything.
And that's real. That's what depression is. You're in a state of, you're in your head, and you just, it's not that you don't want to do anything, but you just literally feel like you can't do anything. And it starts with the mind, right? Mentally, you just felt like, I can't do this right now. You know what I mean? And so with going through that, with your postpartum and everything, how long would you say was that period, and how did you get yourself out of that?
To be honest, like, I was in and out of depression for like a good 3 years. But there were degrees to the depression. Some days I was okay and I was functioning, and some days I just wanted to be in the dark and be by myself. And a lot of what got me going was my son, and like, he was just so bubbly and so happy. It's like, how could you be depressed every day when you have this little bundle of joy that's like, mommy, let's play, mommy, like, you know, like. But it was a long time, and I really had to start to tap into myself and like figure out who I am and what I want out of life and what's important to me.
I feel like when you're in that space, it is the perfect time to really tap into yourself and just be like, you know, try to understand, why do I feel like this? What are the changes that I feel like I need to make? And that's where grace comes in. That's where forgiveness comes in. And that's where faith comes in. It's all full circle. You know what I mean?
And it's like, I like, in that time, I started going back to church. I started listening to like SJR and like, you know, like just uplifting things like TD Jakes. And slowly I started to realize, like, this is not the end of the road for me. Like, there is so much more to life. Like, I started to see the life that I wanted to show my son. Like, as he was getting older, I'm like, yo, I don't want him to see me like this. Like, I need to start hustling and like, you know, get it together for him and make a life for myself. Like, yeah, life didn't go the way I expected it to, but am I gonna let that make me lay down and play dead? No. You have to like find yourself through the, you know, through the bullshit. And at the end of the day, my son is really the Lord and my son are the two main factors that got me out of the depression.
Facts. I can hear that. I can relate to that. I understand that. And I would say the same thing. People, take your pain and make champagne. That's what you need to do. Take your pain, make it into a story, a documentary. Let it be worth something at the end of the tunnel. Don't let what you go through be in vain. And I always say this, like, I'm a believer that everything that you go through is a testimony.
For sure.
I feel like me and you talked one day, and when we were talking, and you were just like, yo, at the end of the day, like, what God has in stores for you, you have to go through these things.
Yeah, for sure.
You can't, you know what I'm saying? Like, they usually say, you know, pressure bust pipes. Like, you have to go through the pressure to become what you are born to do.
To be. Yeah. And it's like, and it's so funny. Like, I went to school to do social work, and when I was like 18, 19, maybe 20, I said I wanted to help women, especially single mothers. And I wasn't single. I didn't even have a child at that time. I didn't really have a concept of how I was going to help women. But everything that I went through led me to this place where here I am, sharing my story and empowering other women, letting them know that anything they want is within their reach, and showing them that, you know, like, where you are today doesn't have to be where you are tomorrow.
Yep. I truly believe in that. I feel like I truly believe that your path is written. So I remember, like, I used to always want to control everything, like, yo, control everything. And now it's just like, yo, just give it to God.
Yeah, you have to.
You get what I'm saying? And everything turns around full circle, because look, you said when you were 18, 19, before your son came, this is what you wanted to do. And look how it just came alight, right?
It came full circle.
It came full circle. And that's what it's about. And just being aware of that, being conscious about that. Because even when I was younger, I used to have like little, you know, gatherings at my house, you know, virtual DJ. Like, my friends used to come over in high school. We used to have little, you know, bubbling in the basement. Like we used to do all that stuff. And my sister used to be like, yo, like, why don't you become a DJ? And I was like, no, I can't do that. Like, you know what I mean? And fast forward.
Here you are.
Here I am, you know what I mean? And in the time of my depression, like, I want the viewers to know, you know, how City Lounge became about. I used to watch a lot of Iyanla Vanzant, Jada Pinkett Smith, and a lot of breakfast television. And I always knew that, yo, like, I can't go to G98 and be like, yo, give me a spot on your stuff. So let me create something for myself. You understand what I'm saying? And that is why we are here today, because I want people to come and on my platform, and I want people to share their journey.
That's amazing.
Because
thanks for providing that platform. You know, like,
because I feel like people see the sauce, but they don't know the recipe.
And I think a lot of people, even if you give them the recipe, they're not trying to mix the ingredients. So
they want you to do it for them, or you know what I'm saying? And so my platform, and this all concludes into, like, growing up, I always wanted to take people with me. We're gonna jump into that. I always wanted to. I was one of those people, like, if I see there's I'm applying for a job, I'm gonna be like, girl, and my mom used to cuss me, you can't tell your friends everything, Miriam.
It's
and
true.
just something in my core, I just always had this thing where, like, I want to take people with me. And through my journey, I learned that you can't take people with you, because certain people...
And I think it's not that you can't take people with you. Not everybody's meant to go with you.
That's okay. Thank you for correcting me, because you're right. Not everybody... That will clearly, the people that I wanted to take with me, they're like the people that I had around me, you know what I mean? And, you know, I wanted to take certain people with me. So City Lounge came fruition with that. Like, I'm still going to find a way to take my people with me. So people that I bring on here, like, they're already big. They already have their stuff going on. But I wanted to create that platform.
New people, right?
Share your journey. I feel like Toronto has a lot of bad mind people. I feel like until you know people's story, don't bad mind them. Because you will be surprised at how much you could relate to them.
Exactly.
So that is the platform that I wanted to provide for people. Like, yo, come and share your journey. Come and share your story. Let people have a different perspective of you. And if they don't like you, cool. But
you're not for everybody.
You're not for everybody. But
that's facts, right?
I just want my people to come on here and just, you know, do what they need to do, say what they need to say, and keep it moving.
Yep. And I'm going back to not being able to take everybody with you. Not everybody's ready to come with you.
Yes.
So, I mean, like, they may want to come with you, but they haven't done the work within themselves to be at that place to come with you.
And I don't know if anybody ever experiences this, but have you ever experienced, like, you be around certain people, and as soon as you guys are, like, done, or as soon as, like, you guys just, you know, things fizzle out, you just start to take off.
Yeah, and I feel like a lot of people, they want you to do well, but never better than them.
No,
so
never.
you can do as good as you want as long as you're beneath me.
Yes. And people always want to confine you in this box of their perception of you.
Their expectations.
You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
You have to make sure you surround yourself with people that support you. That be like, girl, that's a wicked idea. That, you know, they
or people that are even honest with you. Like, we're like, you know what, girl? Like,
Number one.
that might be a good idea, but you need to add this or do that before. And I feel like for me, in 2020, I really, like, my circle dramatically changed. And it wasn't even people that I necessarily didn't know. It was like people that were acquaintances became good friends. And like the mentality of these people was so positive, it was infectious. Like, and like, these are genuinely people that they want to see you thrive. They want to see you win. So when you're doing something, they're going to call you and say, hey, I like what you're doing, but try this. Or you know what? Let me teach you how to do that so it could take you that much further. And like, from you surround yourself with those positive people that genuinely want to see you win, you will soar to places that you will never have imagined. And faster than you could have ever imagined.
Facts. You need people, you need like-minded people around you. You need people that don't look at you as a competition, but are like, yo, where can I help you?
Where can I help you?
Where do you need me? Because I'm a true believer that, like, yo, we all could win.
Together.
There's room
like,
for everybody to win. Let's connect. Let's cross market. Like, yo, you need to borrow this? I got you. Oh, you need me to do this for you? I got you. And, you know, you'll see your dream and you'll see what you need to do take off.
And that's the thing, like, relationships are supposed to be give and take, right? So I'm supposed to be able to help you with this, and you're supposed to be able to help me with that. And that's how we all thrive and flourish together. And if you look at like other cultures, the reasons why they flourish is they support each other. It's like, you're not seeing the Chinaman saying, oh, I bought my house and I did this, that, you get it. And not tell the next Chinaman. Whereas when we do something, it's like, yo, let me keep this to myself because I don't want everybody else to know what I did or how I did it before they come copy my style. And that's what we need to get away from so that we could excel as a culture and as a people, right?
I agree 1000%. And I feel like this is why it's important to have conversations like this so that we can spark the mind of certain people. And it's just like, guys, like, we do so much better when we come together.
Yeah,
we do so much better when we come together. So let that be a thing. Like, if you didn't start that, like, start today after you watch this, link up with a friend. Like, yo, honestly, I think that you can do better if you know this and that. And we are so blessed to be around people like that. We're so blessed to go through what we went through and stumble upon people that want to see us win. Stumble upon people that want to teach us, that want to see us doing good. Because let's be real, like, if I win, you win.
Exactly.
And if you win, I win.
Exactly.
And it's a perspective thing. If your perspective is like, nah, you're gonna get bigger than me, and then that's not a good perspective.
It's not a good, yeah.
And I feel like I'm gonna call a spade a spade. That is a lot of Toronto people. I feel like all these, like, it's unfortunate that a lot of these rappers are dying. You know what I'm saying?
And
as soon as they're about to take off, like,
because
why?
of bad mind things, right?
Like, we need to cut that out, man. It's like, bad mind is such a throwback. It's a disease. Like, let's cut that shit out. Like, really, let's come together, because look at Drake. Like, he's out, and I feel like, you know, he's always repping the 6.
Yeah,
he's always repping the 6, and you know, I love that. You have division. You know what I'm saying? Like, we have such amazing people that came out, and it's like, we have what's his name, The Weeknd.
Yes,
we have so much amazing artists that make it out. You guys, we Party Next Door, Tory Lanez. We have so much talent in the city.
But we
can
need to
be there.
Support each other.
Let's support each other. Jesse Reyes, Savannah Ray, like. There's just too much here. Like, come on, guys. Like, let's not be crabs in a bucket. Let's help each other. Let's support each other, you know? And so I feel like, you know, just sparking the minds of other people and just being an example.
Exactly. And I mean, like, I feel like, like 2020, I had a coach. I have 2 mentors. And like, just being able to pick their brain and for them to share their experiences have inspired me so much to, like, get out my head, get out my comfort zone, meet new people, network. And like, before I was like, oh, I want to talk to that person, but you're probably not going to talk to me because I'm just a little girl over here. But I started to, like, get out my comfort zone and, like, meet new people, like, put myself out there, like, the game has changed for me. And like it just grows your confidence. And I mean, like, why can't we all be like that?
Exactly.
Why can't you approach the next person that's doing well and they say, you know what, let me take you under my wing, let me tell you what I did, so that we can all win together.
Exactly. And I feel like, to go back to what we said about, you know, being depressed and getting into this conversation, that's where resilience comes in. Resilience is being able to bounce back from something that once maybe destroyed you, or
you know, intended to destroy you.
And I feel like, yo, our resilience is beautiful. Shout out to my girl that taught me that. She always told me, yo, Miriam, your resilience is beautiful. Our resilience is beautiful. The way that we are able to bounce back, the way that we are able to forgive others that hurt us, keep it moving, and become something of ourselves. Because this episode is becoming Mary B and becoming the Deidra J, right? And these are just the things that we went through, and we want to drop gems, and we want to show y'all, like, we're not perfect,
but you know what, it's a work in progress.
It's a work in progress. It all starts
with like awareness and the desire to do better, right?
Yes, you have to want to do good for yourself, right? You have to be an example of what you want to play out. You can't be going around saying, oh, but you're not living that same life, that same righteous life. You're being a hypocrite. You get what I'm saying?
For facts.
And you don't want to walk around being that. So start with yourself, you know, be resilient in anything that you're doing, and, you know, just always lead with good intentions.
Exactly. And I mean, like, good intentions multiply. So once you have a good heart and like you do things out of a place of goodness, like, people notice that.
Yeah.
And it comes back to you full circle.
It does. I agree with that. I really do. And touching back onto being like resilient and everything that we spoke about, what would you say, aside from your depression, was something that was hard for you, or something that was hard to come to terms with?
Like, there's a lot of things, but I mean, for me, I realized that I had to create the life that I wanted for myself. Nobody was gonna hand it to me.
Yeah.
I mean, like, and that was like the biggest thing for me. Like, I have a good job. I was working at my job, but I wasn't fulfilled. And nothing I would do would fulfill me unless I created that for myself. The workplace is not gonna make me feel fulfilled. They're not gonna change their job criteria for me to make me feel fulfilled. I needed to find that fulfillment within myself.
Yeah.
I need to find that resilience to figure out what I wanted to do and how I was going to do it.
Yeah. And I feel like, even to going back and listening to what you said about, you know, being surrounded by people that, what's the word I'm looking for, that support you, right? You're able to share everything that you went through with them, and they come into your life and they're just like, listen, I don't even know where I'm going with this. I don't know where I'm going with it.
But you know what I mean? A lot of times when you have those people, they're able to relate to you. And like, even like, to be honest, the people that showed me my progress was the people that were on the outside. I can't see how far I've come until somebody else shows me.
That's true.
And it's like, when you have those people, they keep you going. Like, there's days where I really just want to be like, okay, like, I'm done with this courting, or this coaching is overwhelming. But then those people will come in and be like, you look at where you started and look where you're going and look how much further you have to go. So keep going. And they'll, you know, brainstorm with me, or, you know, give me an idea, or send me a quote, or even send me a tag me on something on Instagram, or show me like, okay, try this or do that. And that keeps you going.
Yeah. I feel like, okay, so I remember when I was going with it, because I had got a brain fart. But tapping into exactly what you just said, of you going through what you went through and then your resilience, I feel like it's important. What I was going to say was, you surround yourself with people that see that you're resilient and that they support your resilienceness. So just like how you said, people sending you quotes, people telling you, hey, I can help you with this. That was where I was going with it, guys. I had a brain fart, my bad. Thanks for helping me out, girl.
No problem.
But yeah, that's where I was going with it. It just ties them back into surrounding yourself with certain people. And I would say that ties into, I would say, your tribe. I feel like when you enter through another space or a next chapter in your life, God sends you your tribe.
And I mean, like, everybody can't go, right? Like, as you level up, your circle levels up.
Yes.
And
yes.
you evolve and the people around you evolve, right? You can't expect to evolve and stay the same. They can't work.
Yep. Because once what used to bother you back in the day or in the past, it's not going to bother you anymore.
No, it's not.
And that's what me and Sean were talking about. I feel like when you go through certain experiences, you learn to cope with things differently.
Yeah.
Right? And so that is true. I like what you said about that.
For sure.
So with your coaching, what is something that you would say is very common for a lot of people that you talk to?
A lot of people are like, they feel stuck. They have a vision for themselves, but they don't know how to start, where to start, how to get there, and like who to turn to, right? I mean, a lot of the same things come up over and over again. It's like I'm unhappy and I don't know why, or what can I do to fix this? And I'm like, it all starts within yourself.
Yeah.
So everything comes back to you. You are the source of everything. And as a coach, I help you unravel that.
Yeah.
Because you already know what you want out of life.
Yeah.
You may not know how to get there, but you already know.
It's somewhere deep down inside,
Yeah.
which is why you're in certain situations, because you're constantly battling the feeling of, okay, well, depending on who you're surrounded by, like, you know, this is how they see me and I don't want to be seen as this and I don't want to be seen like that. I think the most liberating thing is not caring about what people think. That comes into play with the validation.
Yeah.
You know, not caring how people see you. The best thing I would say for you is, or for anybody, is being your authentic self.
And I mean,
in your highest and truest form.
and a big part of that is like when you grow, your circle needs to grow, because as if you're not growing, people that you're around are just tolerating you. You don't want to just be tolerated. You want to be where people accept you for who you are, that value you, and want to be around you. Yeah. And a lot of times, like, as I found that I was growing, I was being tolerated because the people that I had been friends with, they don't understand my vision. They don't get where I'm going. So when I'm talking about, okay, I'm going to work on my coaching, I'm going to do this, it's just like, this again? Because they didn't get the vision, and it's not their vision to get. So as I was growing, I needed to level up my circle and get with like-minded people that also understood the vision, right?
Yeah, that's really important. And it's funny because when me and you were talking, I was saying that it's funny, when I watch interviews, you always hear successful people say that. Your environment and who you surround yourself will determine where you go. Yeah. You need quality people around you. You need quality people around you. You need to make sure that whatever's coming out of your mouth is something that's going to reflect who you are. Yeah, because what you say is a reflection of who you are. What you do is a reflection of who you are. So you always want to make sure that the people that you're surrounding yourself with are genuine people.
For sure. And I mean, the people that you surround yourself with have the power to drain you or elevate you, right? So if you're not with people that get you, you're going to be draining yourself trying to get them to understand your vision or what you want out of life, or drain yourself with trying to pull them along with you.
Facts. It's true. And you're always having to say like, oh, well, I'm this way because like you shouldn't have to explain to people why you are this way if it's not even in a negative way. Like, I flourish like this because this is just who I am. You know what I mean? Let me be who I need to be and let you be who we need to be. And if we don't mesh, that's okay. But it just simply means that we're just not for each other, or you guys simply outgrow each other. And I know a lot of people that are friends with people because of the history. They know this person chats them. They know that this person, is not good for them. They know that they drain them, but they want to hang on to history. And I'm not dogging anybody that does that, because only you can understand that.
You know why you
get what I'm saying? But just make sure that they're pouring into your cup and you're pouring into theirs. Make sure that there's a respect. Make sure that you guys are having conversations about how you feel. Like, hey, like, I don't like that you're treating me like that. Because I don't know about other people, but I found when I started to stick up for myself and I started to be more vocal and I didn't want to be the pleaser. lost people.
Yeah, because
they're just like, yo,
a
like,
lot of people.
Who do you think you are? And it's just like, well, I can't stay in this box that you want me to be, and that is why I ended up being depressed, and that's why I wasn't flourishing, because I was in a box that my parents wanted me to be. I was in a box that my friends wanted me to be, and it's like, break free of those boxes, of those chains. Like, yo, just be real with yourself. I'm telling you, like, be yourself. Your creativity, feed that. Exactly. Whatever you have in your mind that you want to do, feed that, and do not stop until you are satisfied with where you are. Because, like, I know this is kind of off topic, but we're going to get into it, the power of manifestation. I truly believe that you can manifest, but when you do the work, God will come through.
Yeah. And going back to what you were saying about, like, friendships and holding on to things, you don't have to be besties with somebody because you've been friends with them since kindergarten. I can, love you from a distance and say what up when I see you or check in on you, but know that you're not my circle. You're not in my circle, but I still care for you all the same.
Of course.
And I think that's what a lot of people need to understand.
Yeah, people get confused with that. It's like, sometimes loving people from the distance is the best thing. You check in, hey, are you good? All right, cool. I got you if anything, you know what I mean? There's no animosity. You don't need to feel obligated to talk to people every day or to, you know what I mean? So just make sure, if you're whatever friendship that you're in, you guys are watering each other, you guys are growing with each other, you guys are elevating.
Exactly.
And just make sure that the people that are around you are your cheerleaders. Make sure that they're gonna keep it real with you and tell you the truth. That falls into constructive criticism. I feel like a lot of people cannot take constructive criticism. They feel like, if I tell you this, it's a beef thing. No, I'm telling you this because I care about you. I'm telling you this because I love you. I'm telling you this because I don't want to be chatting behind your back. Like, let me just tell you to your face and let's keep it moving. Tensions may rise, but that just means the person's passionate, and that just means they care about you.
And I mean, like, my friend circles, we definitely kick off. But I mean,
you wouldn't be real if you didn't kick off with people you care about.
But I mean, at the end of the day, once everything settles and you look at it, it's like, yo, they really check for me. So I really have to just take it in and look within myself and be like, okay, you know what? Maybe I can fix up there. Or I need to,
And I feel like we should be able to do that with our friends. If you're in a friendship and they tell you about yourself and you guys kick off and they want to cut you off, then it wasn't a true friendship. You know what I mean? And you have to make sure that you're friends with people that want to work it out. Because you have some people that they just don't want to work out shit. Oh, you disrespected me. Wait, what? So me telling you about yourself. I'm the closest person to you. And I'm telling you about yourself. And you feel like that's not what you want to do then, or you don't want to hear it.
And I mean, at the same time, going with that, you have to also be considerate of other people.
It's the delivery.
When you are giving them feedback, because it can be hurtful. But I mean, if you say, Miriam, your hair looks like trash, or Miriam, like, maybe you should change your hairstyle. Like, it's two
all
different
about the
things.
delivery.
And it's like, I said the same thing, but without insulting you.
Yes. But let's be real. Some friendships, like, people are just blunt. That's just their personality. Like, girl,
and then you need to.
Where are you going with those shoes?
That's me. I'm
You're
blunt.
You're coming with those shoes? Nah.
But I mean, you have
to change your shoes.
You have to have the temperament, and you have to know who you're speaking to. Right?
It depends on the person. It depends on the delivery, and it just depends on it depends on the friendship that you guys have, though. Like, me and my sister. Okay, I guess that's my sister. Well, we keep it real. Like, she'll be like, Miriam, where are you going?
But I mean, you need those people in your life.
Where are you going? You know what I mean? Like, that's just how we are. I'm like that with my cousin, and so it does. Like you said, it does depend on the delivery. It does depend on the scenario, and it depends on the personality and the person. You know what I mean? But yeah, you're right about that. And I feel like, for me, going back with full circle, with one thing that I will always love and cherish my dad for this is, he taught me that in friendships and in relationship, reciprocity.
Yes, for sure.
Reciprocity, guys, like, everything we just talked about is the meaning of reciprocity. So just make sure when you treat somebody a certain way, they're treating you the certain way. And let's stop overplaying our positions in people's lives. Because how people treat you is how they feel about you.
It's a reflection of how they feel about you.
Exactly, it's how they feel about you. So here's my thing, you don't need to do the most to be in people's lives.
No,
just be yourself. And how things unravel, they unravel. And come to terms with like you said, not everybody can go with you. Come to terms that some people are in your life for a season, and take the lessons that you needed to take from being around that person,
and then keep it
and keep it moving. Send them and wish them well. You know what I mean? Like a lot of people that I don't F with like that anymore, I wish them well.
Yeah.
Like I want to see them win. Like I want to be able to like go on Instagram or see whatever, and they're doing that. It's like, yes, like, yo,
and
you did that.
You don't have to be their best friend, but you can be able to be big enough to say, I like what you're doing, or congratulations, or you don't even need to say it, but like the fact that you feel that way about them is sometimes all you need, you know?
Yeah, and you have to remember too the history that you have with certain people, even though you don't talk to them. Like a lot of things are sentimental. So you know what I'm saying? Like I'll never forget certain moments with certain people. So that is why I feel the way I feel about them in terms of them winning, in terms of them doing well. You know what I mean? And that's just what it is. So reciprocity, and my dad always taught me the constructive criticism, which is why I brought it up. He was just like, yo, Miriam, like if people can't be able to tell you certain things that's going to be essential for your growth, you know, you're just gonna stay the same.
Yeah, it's true.
You know, and then he also taught me the last thing was sometimes in relationships or friendships, like just to make peace, like it's not about being right.
Yeah.
It's about, would you rather be right or be in relation?
Yeah. Sometimes you have to, you know, be a bigger person.
Be the bigger person. Be like,
and
you know
agree
what?
to disagree.
We can agree to disagree. That's how you feel. This is how I feel. That is a mature conversation
in
or
friendship,
feeling.
you're not going to always agree with your
Definitely
friends.
not.
Or in a relationship, but you have to be able to respect that person and their decisions and their feelings.
And their opinions.
Yeah.
I love people that's how they feel about something and they stand firm in that. I respect people like that.
But I mean, as you have to be respectful of that, right?
Exactly. Because that's what you believe in. I may not agree with you, but the fact that you're saying it with your chest
and you have conviction in what you're saying.
You have receipts. Yo, I have to respect you for that because you're not backing down. You're not changing your mind. You're doing what you want to do. So those are the three things that my dad taught me in life. And it's funny because it's becoming full circle. Back in the day, like I said, I was around people that it wasn't reciprocated. Constructive criticism, when people told me about myself, I was silent. I didn't want to hear it. And I think that at times I probably did want to be right rather than be in relation. But that all comes with immaturity, right?
Yeah.
Now that I'm grown, I'm just like, Daddy, like, that's crazy that everything that you told me, it just comes right full circle.
Yeah.
So what are I would say, what are three advice that you would say that you took with you?
You know what? I really had to, you know, like that. It's so cliche, like you gotta love yourself first. But you do really gotta love yourself first. If you don't love yourself and you don't know yourself, you'll sway with every wind that blows. And like you'll put up with things that are beneath you.
Yes.
But once you start to love yourself, you start to set boundaries for yourself, you start to know what you want out of life, and you say no to the things that don't have any value to you.
Yes.
And another thing that I really had to learn, like I always heard that, but I didn't get it. Like happiness was an inside job. And like, there's times where like you'd say, okay, I'll be happy when I get this job, or when I have that much money, or when I buy this shoes or this bag, or I go to this, that. But it's like, at the end of the day, you could have it all and still be unhappy. So you have to be happy from within yourself.
And I feel like that's a thing in our culture. Black people like to tie happiness to material things.
Yeah.
It's like, no, guys, like you are rich when you have your family, your kids are healthy, you have a roof over your head. That is rich. You know what I mean? Let's stop tying our happiness and, oh, I'm doing well because
Yeah, exactly.
How do you communicate? Are you emotionally mature?
Exactly.
Are you emotionally stable? Are you insightful?
And it's like you could have all the things in the world, but do you have peace within yourself? Are you at peace with how you got the things that you have? Are you at peace with who you are at the end of the day? Can you look in the mirror and feel comfortable with yourself?
And you can go out there and preach, oh, I'm with peace within myself, but your action, I always say this, your energy speaks before you do.
Yeah,
how you treat people speaks before you do. So you can come on here, you can come on Instagram, you could go anywhere and say, I'm this and I'm that, but automatically how you treat people, your energy when you come in the room, how you look at people, what you judge people for, says so much about you. You guys, we need to be an example of what we're preaching.
For sure.
You understand what I'm saying? Like, don't just walk the walk, but talk the talk.
Yeah, you have to walk and talk the walk. Like, you can't be one element. It has to be full circle.
And so, anybody that's watching this, like, I advise you to, like, my whole series of City Lounge After Dark is just doing the work within yourself, because I promise you, you will become a better person. You will be a better friend. You'll be a better mother. You'll be a better sister, colleague, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And how you are ultimately shows a lot about your character
and who you are.
Just genuinely who you are. And I don't know if you wanted to add something to that.
So the final thing that I wanted to say that is, a lot of times we look at people and say, oh, they were lucky or they were just blessed. But what you don't see is the consistency, the hard work, the dedication, and like anything that you want in life can be yours if you consistently work at it.
Yes.
And and that's what a lot of people fail to understand. Like, a lot of people want the sauce, but when you give them the ingredients, which is consistency and like hard work and dedication, they don't want it again. So
they get lazy. Well, how come she's there? Because she put in the work.
Yeah.
And guys, not everybody posts what they do. Just because you see the outcome on Instagram. I don't know about other people, but I'm a very private person. As much as I'm Mary B, I'm not going to show you that I'm up at 4 o'clock in the morning mixing and I'm sending emails to, my City Lounge guests, and I don't do that. I like to work in silence. I like to work in silence. I like to live privately. And even me just coming out is like, a lot of people probably didn't know that about me. And I'm able to come on this platform and share this because y'all don't know me.
Yeah.
So just because you see where people are, don't forget the stuff that they do behind.
Background.
Yeah, all the background stuff that they're doing. So sorry to cut you off, but I just got real passionate about that.
But that's the truth, right? Like, a lot of people see your progress, but they don't see when you're up at 3 o'clock in the morning. They don't see when you're like bawling your eyes out because you can't figure out how to do what you need to do. Or they don't see when you're seeking the advice of a mentor, or, like putting in that work, not getting paid to get where you need to go.
And a lot of us that are doing this right now, I don't know about other people, but I don't get paid for what I'm doing right now. I'm investing in myself. The best thing you could ever do is invest in yourself. You guys, if you know that you're worth it,
trust me,
invest in yourself.
And I mean, like, for a lot of us, like, we're older now. It's like, school didn't stop when we were 20. Like, you have to continue to learn. Like, life itself is a university.
Yes.
Like, you need to constantly feed it yourself, like read books, learn, ask questions, like do research, and constantly be growing. Constantly.
I love that. I think that was an amazing advice, and that's just real things that we're talking about. And I really hope that somebody was able to take from that, and I hope they take the gems that we dropped on this episode, and even from my boy Sean, just even from Gloomy that was on previous, like any gems that you can get from the series City Lounge After Dark, just apply that to your life, because we are living proof of what's going on. And so before we end the show, I wanted to touch on a topic. I seen a meme on Instagram, and it says that fathers are privileged and mothers are obligated.
I agree. Because I mean, as a mother, from the moment you're pregnant, you have to start thinking about your baby.
Yes.
Like, so the things that you put into your body, the things that you do, like how you carry yourself, you have to think about that. As a father, like, okay, you bang up a girl's belly, you can still be out there doing your thing, smoking, drinking. You don't have to stop doing anything unless you want to. And I mean, even when the children are here, and I'm going to be generalizing because there are great fathers out there, but I mean, a lot of times, especially in co-parent situations, when the child support is due, the father can say, I don't have no money. But the mother cannot turn around and say to the baby, I can't feed you today.
You understand?
You're not going to have a jacket today because your dad didn't give me no child support money.
Yes.
So, I mean, a lot of times as mothers, we are obligated regardless of the father. And the father has the option to come in
and go as he pleases.
Operate the life as they wish.
Yeah, I agree with that statement, and I really feel like it's a conversation that nobody really talks about, and it's something that I really wanted to talk about because, you know, I like to bring on the show certain things that I see, and I love to get people's perspective. And I agree with you. I feel like fathers are privileged. They can come and go as they please. They get to be viewed, especially the weekend dads, like every other weekend. They're viewed like, oh my God, you're a superhero.
My dad's so fun because he doesn't yell and
he doesn't. I
get everything what I want.
You know, and it's like, you know, for the longest time, like even us growing up, our mother was the bad guy.
Yeah.
Even us growing up, our mother was the bad guy because the mother was disciplining us.
Yeah.
There was structure. We had to do certain things.
And then
you're like, oh, and then you get older and you're just like, yo, so yeah, dads are privileged, you know what I mean? But the kids get older. So if you're a dad out here and, you know, you can at me, but if you're out here being a waste man, like, come on, let's get it together.
Yeah.
Let's, you know what I mean? Like, work on yourself so that you can be there for your kids. And for all the mothers that are out there, salute to all my mothers, because let's be real, there are days that we just don't want to do it, but we have to do it. Our kids can't go hungry because we're lazy to get out of bed and we're tired.
Exactly.
Especially to the mothers that are working and then have their side business. Like we have our side hustles, you know what I'm saying? So shout out to the mothers.
But
shout out to the single fathers. I know a lot of single fathers.
There are some
shout out to the single fathers that are obligated to be there for their kids. Let's just
But not only single fathers, there are some really great dads that are in the home, or even if they're co-parenting, they make their children their priority, right?
So this is not for the dads that are in their kids' life. These are for the dads that are not in their kids' life. And this is just a discussion, just saying, like, fathers are privileged and mothers are obligated. So guys, I just wanted to say thank you so much for coming on the show.
No problem. Gotta tell them about what we're drinking because this is amazing.
Oh, girl, they know. We're gonna drop gems. Thanks for dropping gems, and shout out to Delicious again for being our sponsors. These drinks are dope. We appreciate it, and tune into the next episode.